Hello and welcome to Home with Sarah Jane. In today's video, I am finally filming my curriculum picks for the 2024-2025 homeschool year. Now this video is going to be all about our family subjects. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Sarah and I'm a homeschooling mom to two girls, ages 12 and 15. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by once again. I do really appreciate you. So, like I was saying, today is all about our family subjects. And let me just say that it has been challenging as my kids are getting older to really find a good groove or a good schedule for family subjects because my kids are getting pulled away in other areas. But I realized last year when I almost completely got rid of family subjects or morning time, all we had left last year was like read alouds and World Watch News. By the end of the year, what I realized is that I need to make this a priority. This is such an important part of our homeschool by doing things as a family, by learning and having conversation as a family, that I really don't want to see that disappear. And I don't know why I was stressing out so much about it because it really is in my control. I need to make time for it. I need to make it a priority. So that's what I did. And I did that by still making sure I'm not over planning things when it comes to morning time or our family subjects, but more about making sure that I'm fitting in things here and there that I want my kids to talk about together, that we want to learn about together. So that's kind of what I'm sharing today, is those little things that we're going to be doing in the morning to start off our homeschool day in the new upcoming homeschool year. So let's get started. We start our mornings off with World Watch News. So that is not going to change. We will continue to use World Watch News. We love it. It's like my favorite way to get news for myself as well. It's kind of funny because even my sister, I have an older sister, I told her about World Watch News and now she watches World Watch News as well. So even though it is meant for, you know, middle school, high school kids, a lot of my family is watching World Watch News now just because I liked it so much. They gave it a try and they enjoyed it as well. So it's kind of like a whole family thing now. But other than World Watch News, we are going to be doing read alouds. Now, I did pick 10 readers for this upcoming homeschool year, and a lot of these, probably half of them, are going to be from last year's list. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know that our read aloud time was not as successful last year as it was in previous years. And again, a lot of that was just me not being able to keep up, I guess you could say, with our schedule. There was some, I guess we could say, areas that I overscheduled us to where it made things really challenging. And one of those things that suffered was read aloud. So although it wasn't an unsuccessful year, it just wasn't as successful as previous years. So I still have 10 books, so about one a month. So here is the stack of books that I chose. And again, if my kids end up finding like another book that they're interested in that they want me to do as a read aloud, we will, you know, just add that. I'm not going to say like, no, you know, we're not going to read that book. So this is just kind of like a loose guide of what we'll be reading together as a family. And the first one is Hatchet. And I should probably say these aren't going to go in any specific order. We're just going to kind of choose as we go. So, but this one is Hatchet. I really don't know much about this. I've actually never read it. So this book here, all I know is about a boy, a 13-year-old boy who has to live in the wilderness, which is his hatchet after a plane crash. I'm hoping that that's what it is. Yeah, so that's what it is. And I believe it's the Canadian wilderness, right? I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it sounds really interesting, and we have read books by this author before and we have enjoyed them. So I'm hoping that Hatchet will be a win for us this year. And then next up, I have The Invention of Hugo. So this one we've never read, and when I originally purchased this book at a used bookstore, I was like, wow, that is a really thick book. When am I going to find time to fit this in? You guys, it's like so many pictures that it really isn't a ton of reading. So I mean, look at everything that I flipped through so far. Those have all just been pictures. So I thought that this would be a good year to fit it in. And I do believe there is a movie. I was trying to see if the book said, but I do believe that there's a movie that you can watch as well. So we really like that whole book and a movie vibe. We really enjoy that. Okay, so another one. This one I've been hearing a lot of good things about, and we just haven't found the time to read it. And it's called One Crazy Summer. Now this one, from all I know, it's about these 3 children that go on a quest, I guess you can say, to try and find their mother that abandoned them. And they travel to Oakland, California. Now what's fun about this book is we do live in California, and we've been to Oakland before, like to the zoo and things like that. So I just think my kids will get a kick out of that, you know, reading a story from an area that we've actually been. So I really wanted to squeeze this one in this year. Next up, you'll probably recognize this if you watched last year's, is Wolf Hollow. Now this one says, again, I don't know much about it. This one says, despite growing up in the shadows cast by 2 world wars, Annabelle has lived a mostly quiet, steady life in her small Pennsylvania town until the day new student Betty walks into her class. Betty quickly reveals herself to be cruel and manipulative, and through her bullying seems isolated at first, but then it quickly escalates. Sounds interesting. And again, this is something that I have heard is, what am I trying to say, you guys? This one I have heard is actually pretty good. So I purchased this a while ago, and I've just been staring at it. So I really need to read this one. Next up, we have Catherine called Birdie. Again, I think there's a movie with this one too. We've never read it. It'll be a short, easy read, which you'll notice that I was trying to do. I have some real short reads, and then I have, you know, more time-consuming reads, and I did that on purpose because I found that during the holiday season, we usually need something short, straight to the point, but still good. So that's why I kind of threw this one in there. And again, we never really read it before, but this is Rebellious Catherine is the daughter of a well-off family in 14th century England. Girls like her are expected to obey their parents and sit quietly with their sewing and not go off on adventures. Her mother wants to teach her how to be a lady, and her father wants to marry her off, but Catherine herself has other ideas. This sounds like something my kids would really enjoy. Next up is Caddy Woodlawn. Okay, this has been on my list to read for like 5 years. I just keep on skipping over it when we don't have time. So maybe I'll make this one of our first reads because it's been on my reading list for so long. But this one, it says, Caddy Woodlawn is a real adventurer. She'd rather hunt than sew and plow than bake, and tries to beat her brother's dares every chance she gets. So again, another one that my kids, it kind of gives me like almost like a little bit of a Little House vibe. I might be wrong, but that's kind of what I'm getting from this book. But my kids love the Little House series, so I think this one will be a hit as well. Okay, next up is Out of My Mind. I heard a lot of great things about this, but I heard that it is one of those kind of sad stories. This one is 11-year-old Melody has a photographic memory. Her head is like a video camera that is always recording. Always. And there's no delete button. She's the smartest kid in her whole school, but no one knows it. Most people, her teachers and doctors included, don't think she's capable of learning. And up until recently, her school days consisted of listening to some of the preschool level alphabet lessons again and again. If only she could speak up, if only she could tell people what she thinks and knows, but she can't because Melody can't talk. She can't walk. She can't write. Being stuck inside her head is making Melody go out of her mind. That is, until she discovers something that will allow her to speak for the first time ever. Ooh, that one kind of gave me little goosebumps. Like, I do really want to read this one. I'm hoping, again, cross your fingers, I'm hoping that read alouds work out. So this one sounds really, really good. Next up, we have Wish. I don't know much about this one either. This one, and again, it was on my reading list last year that we never got to, but this one is, when she is sent to live with her family she barely knows, it seems unlikely that her wish will ever come true. That is until she meets Wishbone, a skinny stray dog who captures her heart. Okay. This one sounds like Lydia will enjoy. She loves anything with animals. Oh, this is another one that I've been wanting to read so bad, and this is A Place to Hang the Moon. I've been hearing so many great things about this one. I want to say it takes place during the war though. Yeah. a heartwarming story about 3 siblings evacuated from London to the countryside during World War II who are hoping that a temporary living situation will turn into a forever family. This one is kind of giving me the War That Saved My Life vibes. We loved those books. We thought they were so good. There was 2 of them in that series. But this is kind of giving me that, you know, that feeling. So I think we'll enjoy this one. Okay, so the last reader that I have mapped out, and again, this is scheduled to change, is Wonder. This is another one that was on my reading list from last year that we never got to. And I do know that there is a movie, but this one is about Augie and how he was born with a facial difference that prevented him from going to a mainstream school. He's about to enter 5th grade at Beecher Prep, and if you've ever been the new kid, then you know how hard it can be. The thing is, that Augie is just an ordinary kid with an extraordinary face. But can he convince his new classmates that he's just like them despite his appearances? This one sounds kind of like a lesson learner as well, like something good to read. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one as well. But those are going to be our family read alouds. But let's continue on, because the next few things that I'm sharing when it comes to our family subjects are things that we're not going to be doing every single day. And the first thing is Teatime Together. Now, I do have a video where I kind of talk all about Teatime Together. I will link that down below if you're interested. I do also have a coupon code for it. It is an affiliate link, so keep that in mind. When you use it, you get a percentage off, but I also earn commission off of it. But this one, Teatime Together, is actually really interesting. It's an art, music, and poetry like study guide, and you only do it once a week. So here's kind of an example. Again, I do have a kind of like a flip through, or you know, I talk about it in a video if you want more information, but it is super easy to fit in once a week, where you talk about, you know, one week you're talking about a certain artist, composer, and poet, and you just kind of study that artist, poet, and composer throughout the entire month, but only once a week. So it's bite-sized pieces, and you can have like a little tea party with it. Again, tea time together. So this is something that I'm using to fit in art, music, and poetry this year, because this is an area in our homeschool that has suffered over the last couple of years. So having something that I could do only once a week is definitely something that I need. So yeah, that's why this one's on my list this year. We've never really used it in our homeschool before up until recently, and we have enjoyed it. So again, bite-sized pieces, there's recipes, there's activity ideas, you know, it's just a lot of fun. So check out that video. Again, I will link it down below. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing as a family, again, probably only about once or so a week, is the art of argument. Now, this is something that I've actually never used before, and I only purchased the teacher's edition because I did not want my kids to have to do all of the worksheets or writing that came with this, which it didn't look like a ton, but when I'm trying to you'll see in my other videos, when I'm trying to schedule like certain things for my youngest daughter for writing, I didn't want to overwhelm her with even more writing. So I did only purchase a teacher's guide, and this is just something that we'll probably read, like I was saying, once a week, here and there, a lesson, you know, or so, and we'll just have conversations. So I've actually never taught, you know, any kind of like informal fallacies in our homeschool before, so this is going to be something new. And then this one is just kind of because it is an election year, I decided to pick up this little A Guide to Elections in the United States of America. It's a very short little unit study. Now, we have used the government, the government unit study from Gather Round before. So we have used that in the past. Actually, during the last election, we used that one. But I wanted something a little bit shorter, a little bit, you know, easier to manage, bite-sized pieces. So you're just doing like some reading. It does have worksheets that I won't have my kids do. But yeah, so this is just something that I really wanted to focus on. Again, it talks about the forms of government, the American experiment, the branches of government, what's an election, the electoral college, political parties, suffrage, the presidential campaign, election day, inauguration day, and then there's a answer key at the back. But again, it does have a ton of great information, and it doesn't seem like something I'll have to take a ton of time doing, which is what I like. So I do plan on doing this with both of my girls. Now, the last thing that we're going to be doing in our morning time or as a family subject is Unsolved Mysteries. Now, this one got added to the family subject category because my oldest daughter heard me talking about this with my younger daughter, Lydia, and she was just really interested in it. So she asked if we could actually do it as a family. So I picked up Unsolved Mysteries from Gather Round. Again, we're not going to be doing any of the worksheets or anything. It's primarily going to be reading and conversation, but we are just going to focus on one lesson a week. So this lesson book has, or this unit has 20 lessons in it. So that is 20 weeks worth of mysteries that we'll be going through. But what I like about this is by only completing one a week, it's going to give me wiggle room around the holiday season to where I don't have to feel like I have to squeeze this in if we're doing holiday studies. So I really like that. But again, you can see on here that some of these are really interesting. So, you know, they have the Lost Colony, Lost Cities, Mysterious Creatures, We Don't Know Why, Fact or Fiction, Where Did They Go, Lost Graves. I mean, just a ton of fun and fascinating things. So again, I'll probably pull in a few readers for my youngest daughter to kind of go along with this. But yeah, so we'll be just reading about one unsolved mystery every week during our morning time. And I just think that that is a lot of fun. And to go with that Unsolved Mysteries unit guide, I'm also going to be using an atlas of lost kingdoms, discover mythical lands, lost cities, and vanished islands. I actually purchased this just recently and it looks like a lot of fun and really interesting. So I'm going to be using these kind of side by side and just kind of going over, you know, mysteries and things like that. That is definitely something that Lydia would enjoy and find really fascinating. And again, so fascinating that my oldest daughter wanted to do it as well. So it's not every day that your kids ask for more schoolwork. So when they do, I'm going to run with that. But that is everything that I have planned and mapped out for our my books fell. So my whole thought process when it comes to scheduling these out is going to be, like I was saying, read alouds, World Watch every day. But then when it comes to like the Unsolved Mysteries, I was thinking about doing something maybe like a Monday Mysteries. And then I was going to schedule tea time together on Tuesday. So we'd have a Tuesday tea time. And then the fallacies, I was going to schedule on Friday for a Friday fallacies. I know you don't have to do it like that, but that is the schedule I'm going to keep because a couple of days during the week, my kids are, you know, involved in outside classes or events or things like that. So I really didn't want to overplan our morning when I already know we're going to have a busy schedule next year. So that is it. That is everything that I'm going to be using for family subjects or our morning time. The only way this is going to change is during the holiday season, which I haven't decided what holiday units I'm going to be using yet, but that is it for today. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. You have a great day. Bye.